Hi everyone, this is Alex at Design and Adorn, and I'm going to go over how to do a stretch bracelet. Right now we've got a really great trunk show, the One Glance Jewelry Trunk Show, and these have these really cute kits, and I'm going to demonstrate how to assemble one of them. So all of your kits are going to come with some stretchy cord, all of the beads, and the picture on the front is going to show you exactly how to lay out and arrange your beads. In this particular one, there's a little flower component, and I've already took the time, I put together the little flower. There were actually two little jump rings, which I've connected to the loop on the flower, and that's to just give it a little bit more room for you to kind of have it dangle off of your bracelet. Okay, so I've arranged the beads, and what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a big eye needle. And if you remember with big eye needles, you use your nail to kind of crack them open, and the whole length of the needle will open up, and you can slide your stretchy cord in there. And just remember, you don't need a very long tail. You can keep it pretty short, so that way when your big eye needle pinches on it, it doesn't fray a huge chunk of your thread off. So I'm going to start at one end. I'm going to string all the beads, and then I'm going to come around and string through one more time. So I'm going to start over here. Actually, I'm going to just go this way with some of these beads and just pick them on up and slide them on down. And slide them on down. And all of the kits have enough just so you can match the image, so it'll look exactly like the sample. And then when you go to pick up, in this case, when you go to pick up the flower, I pick up the second jump ring, so that way, again, it's like a little chain. So I thread through there, and again, sliding them on down. There you can go, you can kind of see them lining up. And remember, as you use a big eye needle, to just be careful and be mindful that both ends are sharp. So just watch it, that you don't put too much pressure, because it's going to poke. Okay, so I'm going to finish up with those last few, ending on the gold bead. Oops, come back. Join your friends. Okay. So I got everybody there. So I'm going to very carefully go through and start with the first bead and go all the way back through all the beads one more time. Just be mindful of your tail here, that it doesn't go sliding out. And as I do this, I just want to be careful that I just take my time and make sure that I go through all the beads. I don't accidentally skip anybody. Pull through. Whee! And just make my way. And as I'm doing this, I want to just be careful that I don't create any bunching. So I'm just going to take my time and I kind of pull on both ends to make sure that I don't have any, like little ribbons of cord like this that'll start to poke out. Just take your time and adjust that as you go, because it's a lot harder to try to squish it out at the end. Whee! And just pull and pull and pull. See? And again, make sure you're getting the ring too, so make sure that you've got all the beads that you need to. On this one, it's a little tight where the rondelle is, but you can still get through, no problem. Pick up my needle again. Okay. Again, once I get past that rondelle point, it's a little tight because it's such a small little bead, but it fits, I promise. Ta-da! Excellent. And again, I'm just checking to make sure that I don't have any bunching up of my cord here. And we're looking pretty good. Okay. And just trying to get those last ones home stretch. Can I get them all in one shot? Ah, no, but it's okay. All right, last bead. Woohoo! Okay. So now, the fun part, tying a knot. So I'm gonna remove this guy real quick. Just set him aside, don't get rid of him. We're gonna use the big eyed needle again in just a second. So when we're gonna tie the knot, number one, you don't wanna tie super tight that all of a sudden you get bunching like this. We want this to have, you know, a nice drape. So don't get too crazy. But all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of let it hang for a second, make sure we've got everybody. Look for any extra bunching, but we're good. Okay. So kind of right over left, loop it through and pull down. Again, we're trying to be secure, but not super, super tight. And we're gonna do it one more time, except this time I'm going the other way. Here we go. Right. Through the loop and pull down. Again, looks pretty good, nice draping. Okay, so I've done 2 knots, basically a square knot is what I've made here, but I'm not finished yet, because what we've done so far is we've created a knot with the one thread, but we still have that kind of second thread path, as it were. So we're gonna take one piece and we're gonna do a half hitch knot. So I'll use the small one first. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna go under, so that way I go under both pieces of the cord, and then I'm gonna feed it through the loop. Actually, I'm gonna make that loop a little bit smaller. Feed it through the loop, and pull. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing again with this one. I've got a really long thread here. I'm gonna go under, pull until I have a small loop, really small loop. Come on, small loop. There we go. And then I'm gonna take my thread and feed it through the loop, like so, and tie it. All right. Now, I prefer to use the needle at this point. I'm gonna put my big eye needle back on because I'm gonna thread my tails. Actually, I'm gonna trim this tail because it's super long. I don't need it to be this long. Whee! Gonna put my big eye needle back on because I'm gonna take one end and I'm gonna go through a couple beads. See, I've gone through just about 2 beads there. And just kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, 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 because it's got a lot of thread and the knot's getting in there too. Not yet, Mr. Knot. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing with the other end, but I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to go the opposite way. Going through gold and a gray. All right. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use some hypo cement to secure the knot. Okay, so there's my little knot there. It's kind of big, but what's going to happen is we're going to put some glue on it, and we're going to move this gold bead over it so it's going to cover and it'll hide the knot, which is a nice little trick. So let me get the hypo cement. Okay, get a little bit going there. Come on. Of course, now my hypo cement doesn't want to glue anymore. Come on, glue. Here we go. So stretch so that we have some room to work. And we're going to apply it all the way around the knots. Do-do-do, got plenty of glue on there. And I'm very carefully going to just slide the gold bead on over. I'm going to use my nail to wipe off any excess. Okay, and that's what's going to seal it, and then I'm going to pull on these two pieces here to tighten up. Excellent. So at this point, we're going to let this dry for a little bit, and that's what's going to seal the bead right over your knot. You can again do some more half hitches with your tails at these points and stitch through another bead if you want to, or you can just trim, but go ahead and let this dry completely, and then you've got a stretchy bracelet. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.